That's good. That's good tea. There's a storm brewing, ladies and gentlemen. There's a storm brewing. I'm actually serious. There's actually a storm brewing. I can actually see a storm coming up in Sydney at the moment. But that's not the kind of storm that I'm actually thinking about talking today. Paul Pogba, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be up for grabs on a free. And there's a lot of Chelsea fan base that are very excited about this.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. In the past 24 hours, a big news about Paul Pogba that he could possibly go on a free. And quite a lot of Chelsea fans, they are absolutely excited about this particular situation. I myself, I'm not really sure entirely how I feel about this. That's why I want to express myself, as Frank Lampard always used to say with some of our players, go out there and express yourself. I want to express myself in this particular video, and then with the help of your comments and your interactions later on, maybe we can come to a particular conclusion. But how do I feel about this situation? How do I feel about Paul Pogba being on a free, possibly an opportunity for Chelsea to go after him? Before we get into the news and stats and whatnot, I just want to say Paul Pogba is undoubtedly one of the biggest and the best talents out there in world football at the moment. He is definitely a world-class player. There's no doubt about that. But should we go beyond the footballer at times? Should we think about, what do they bring as a character? Are they the right fit for the football club? I mean, there is a saying at times that certain players tend to become bigger than the club at times. Does Paul Pogba have that tendency at times to do that? Does he create too much social media unnecessary, I suppose, attention at times? Is that going to be detrimental to have a player like him? We need to explore all of this beyond the talent itself. But before we do that, let's look at the news first of all, ladies and gentlemen, and hold your thoughts on this particular scenario right at the end of watching this entire video, and then comment exactly how you feel about it. This is the news, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Pogba is ready to wait until the end of the season to decide his future and is willing to listen to all options, which could include proposals from Premier League clubs. And this is from United Report, a very, very established Man United source. As you can see, 852,000 followers. Paul Pogba is open to Premier League offers if he leaves Man United this summer, which is from Mike McGrath, who was the person that has written this particular piece. And I've got a phone call coming. I'm just going to have to pause that for a little bit. And this is the news at the moment, that he could be up for grabs for Premier League teams, which is fantastic. Now let's have a look at his stats over the last few seasons. Before we do that, obviously, let's have a look at his contract situation. Paul Pogba, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, 28 years of age, which means this is prime time for him. If anyone wants him, this is it. You'd expect him to be, getting a player that is ready to deliver pronto. Mina Raiola is a bit of an issue as an agent, and we already seen the kind of drama that was created around the whole Erling Haaland situation, and not just that, many other players that previously we wanted to deal with. He's a bit of a pain, this particular agent, and then that there is a mad tendency at times where Mina Raiola, is there in front of media and creating, as I said, unnecessary attention. Contract expires June 30th, 2022. So obviously at the end of this season, Paul Pogba's contract finishes. Went back to Man United in 2016. Market value as per Transfer market is 55 million, but obviously at the end of this season, he'll be on a free. Now, let's have a look at his situation. 21-22, this current season. 12 Premier League matches, 829 minutes played. Now, this doesn't mean he started all of them. He might have featured 1 goal, 8 assists. And I think in one of the games, there was 4 assists. So this hasn't been the most brightest season out there. But at the same time, it's been injury plagued massively. As you can see, hamstring injury, featured in the Champions League. In the Premier League, there you go. First game, 4 assists. And there were tremendous assists as well. I mean, yes, it was Leeds. Yes, Leeds have been battered this season. But I don't want to take anything away from that assist against Southampton. He was flying. 2 assists against Newcastle as well. And then there was a red card suspension. And then since then, he's been injured. And only recently, he's come back. So, I mean, look, undoubtedly has the potential. But this hasn't been the brightest season, albeit due to the injuries. Last season, 2021, 26 Premier League games, 3 goals, 5 assists. So I don't really think that's been a great season for him. 1,896 minutes. These are the positions that he's played: left mid, centre mid, defensive midfield, right mid. You expect goals and assists from Paul Pogba. He's not naturally a defensive-minded player. There is a lot of attacking prowess about him. 6 Europa League games, 2 goals, 1 assist. 5 Champions League games, 2 assists. 3 League Cup games, 1 assist. Overall, 42 games played in the entire season, 6 goals, 9 assists. 15-goal contribution over 42 games for a player like Paul Pogba. Probably not the greatest. Probably not the greatest once again last season. There was a few injuries once again. Hamstring seems to be a reoccurring situation. Ankle injury was there. The season before that, 1920. Yeah, this is a season to forget as well. 16 Premier League matches, overall 22 matches in the season, 1 goal, 4 assists, so not good. Didn't play enough games as he was injured. There was a lot of injury issues, as you can see. Ankle problems all over the joint. However, the season after that, season before that, 18-19 was probably his best. It was a glamorous season. I believe this was Jose Mourinho getting sacked around the December period and then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming in. But that's the season where he absolutely killed it. 35 matches in the Premier League, 13 goals, 9 assists. This is probably what you're expecting from Paul Pogba. He's capable of doing that. 3,011 minutes overall in the Champions League as well, 9 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. Overall, 47 games played, 16 goals, 11 assists. Now, that is the level of quality that you're looking for from Paul Pogba. He played as an attacking midfielder, 13 games, as a centre midfielder, 29. That's the kind of position you want him to play, centre midfield, box to box. Do you know what I mean? More sort of emphasis on the attack as opposed to defensive. DM, he only played 3 matches. So look, before we get into the other sort of areas about Paul Pogba, and I'm gonna talk about this a bit down the track, we can clearly see there is an immense talent. There is no doubt that there is an immense talent. However, in the last probably 2 to 3 seasons, it's been a bit up and down with injuries, and also the form hasn't been that great. So there is that factor. He's 28, fair enough. Now that we've established that Paul Pogba, I mean, we don't need to spend time here talking about how talented he is. We all know how brilliant he is. Let's talk about the other facets. Now, bringing back this, we'll come back to this situation very, very soon. And we'll come back to the Christian Falk situation about Man United as well. He's doing some madness over there. Paul Pogba has always been in the middle of controversy. During Jose Mourinho's time, like this is a headline when Jose Mourinho was around, Paul Pogba has delivered a scathing verdict on Jose Mourinho's man management, accusing the former Manchester United manager of casting players, including himself, aside without explanation. We all know, and look, maybe we can say this is partly Jose's fault as well. Jose, wherever he's gone, even when he was at Chelsea, he caused a bit of an havoc. When he went to Spurs, he caused a bit of an havoc. But is it entirely Jose's fault? Because Paul Pogba, I remember there was some incident around the SMS or some phone stuff, Instagram stuff, I don't know, some subliminal messages. Bottom line, there were issues between Paul Pogba and Jose Mourinho. And there was also issues around Paul Pogba and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because there was a time where Solskjaer wasn't playing Paul Pogba, and then Paul Pogba once again, showed his disgruntledness about the situation. Is he the level of player that we need at Chelsea Football Club, where Thomas Tuchel might find him a bit difficult to handle at times if things don't go his way? Paul Pogba is such a superstar. He will always attract the attention of media. They will always be after him. Is that the kind of player that we need at Chelsea Football Club? We've already seen what has happened with Romelu Lukaku. And then after that, now it seems like a few other players, like Christian Pulisic is talking as well. Yes, not as deep as Lukaku, but still Ziyech every now and then saying some subliminal stuff as well. At least with Ziyech and Pulisic, okay, it was a bit, it was subtle. Do we need another Romelu Lukaku kind of a character that's going to be so open, so honest to the media, which is going to grab attention? We, as a Chelsea Football Club, we already grab enough attention from the media. Do we need more? And this was club football. There was also a situation around, so once again, the Jose Mourinho clash with Paul Pogba over timing of Instagram posts. There you go. Things like this pop up. But if we remember, and I want to show you guys, during the Euros time, let's just look at goal. Goal, everyone knows goal. During Euros, if you remember, when France got knocked out from Euro 2020, there was a massive fallout. It wasn't just Paul Pogba. It was Mbappe. It was Adrien Rabiot, many other players all together. And it wasn't just the players. It was the players' families clashing with each other. And it was a mess. Do we want that type of a character? And I feel like and I've had this previously. Every time I've talked about this, a few people have called me, "Oh, you're racist," or you don't like Paul Pogba. It's not. It's got nothing to do with race, and it's got nothing to do with me not liking Paul Pogba. As I've already stated, Paul Pogba is a fantastic talent. There is no denying that. But we can't just sit here and just say that there's been all these incidents throughout his playing career, and he's blameless on all of them. And I feel like that's the kind of attention I don't want at Chelsea Football Club. He brings too much attention. And you guys would have all remembered the Euro situation. Now, I want to also share with you guys the recent situation that's going around in Man United. Christian Falk has been doing some madness lately. And I'm just going to show this. Let me just go back. So this was the initial tweet from Christian Falk. And this has got nothing to do with Paul Pogba per se, but this is more the fact that Paul Pogba is in a particular environment that's very toxic. And you don't know how that kind of stuff impacts a particular player. I'm just giving everything, throwing everything out there, presenting everything for you guys to take in before you make a judgment whether you want a player or not. Christian Falk saying, true, the English players like Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford and Co are irritated that Ronaldo wants to lead the dressing room with his own clique. There is a risk of a split in the team. Marcus Rashford then quote tweets are saying, are we just making up as we go along now? Then please stop looking for divides. And then Christian Falk, on top of that, quote tweets that from Marcus Rashford saying, not true. And you know it, Marcus Rashford. I mean, Christian Falk is literally taking the piss at the moment with Man United. And, all I'm just saying is how much of that toxic environment is also affecting Paul Pogba. Because he would probably see this unfold. So I just wanted to, throw all of this information out there. Not only he's talented, but at the same time, he's had controversies previously in his career, as I've shown you guys here. But he's also part of a team that is littered with a lot of issues at the moment. However, having said that, this is what Paul Pogba has done in recent times in the last match. Class act. This is from Mohamed Zaid. Class act by Paul Pogba. By giving my cousin his shirt, he will cherish this moment for the rest of his life, as you can see. And there's a nice video clip of Paul Pogba taking off his shirt and giving it to this particular kid. So I'm not saying it's all bad. Paul Pogba is genuinely a good guy. And he's a talented player. Injuries is a concern. But I do want to let you guys know that the character outside of the football player in itself we do need to see, how much value that has, because all of this matters when you bring in a particular footballer into a team. Romelu Lukaku, had we had known that he was this egotistical, maybe we would have thought otherwise. Maybe we would have thought again. And these sort of things can have a detrimental effect on the football club. And most times than none, it gets the better of the manager. Manager is the one that ends up going. So let me know what your thoughts are, ladies and gentlemen, about this particular situation of Paul Pogba being on a free. Do you want him on a free if there's an opportunity? I personally think, I don't know how he fits within our midfield. I don't know whether he's actually a Chelsea type of a player. Talented? Yes, there's many talented footballers out there, but I don't know whether I want Paul Pogba per se at Chelsea Football Club. I feel like we should look at other dynamics, other characteristics. There's Tchouaméni that we're linked with. There's Declan Rice that we're linked with. There could be others. We still have N'Golo Kante. We have Kovacic. We've got, Conor Gallagher. Is Paul Pogba the kind of... He's creative. There's no doubt about that. But is he the kind of footballer that you guys want, ladies and gentlemen? Let me know what your thoughts are. My personal feeling is probably not. Probably not someone I would entertain, because I feel he has the tendency of becoming too big for the football club. And I don't want to see that at Chelsea Football Club. Let me know what your thoughts are, ladies and gentlemen. If you've enjoyed this video, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, see ya.